into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh yeah, this is a song you're gonna get stuck in your head. Big booty, got yourself a big. Oh.
Can you guys calm down with the dance moves on the couch over there? There's a little too many dance moves.
Just trying to get the lyrics.
I'm gonna keep
Big,
It's really wordy.
big booty.
Yeah. Big.
You got a big booty.
Big booty. Big booty.
Very repetitive.
I think I got it.
Nailed it.
I think I got it. I mean, lyrics are really devolving.
They happen to do that, yeah, I don't know. But big booty, God. Anyways, guys, sorry, this is Saturday Night Live, AfterBuzz TV, Season 40, Episode 4. Jim Carrey and Iggy Azalea is the musical guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
I thought you mispronounced her last name for a second.
Yeah.
Iggy Azalea.
I know, I was like,
It's a good save if you did. Well done. Well played.
And I'm Roya Taheri. I didn't stutter on that, so
no, you didn't.
That works.
What's up, guys? Danny Hoyt.
Hey, Kelly McInerney.
And guys, we have two very special guests joining us in studio.
Woo.
First off, let's start with Ben Gleib. He's the host of GSN's Idiot Test. And
Not Idiotest, as we've learned.
Yes, and you might have seen him on Chelsea lately. And you are the voice, you might recognize his voice when he starts talking from Ice Age, The Continental Drift, and The Book of Life.
It's true.
Let's hear that magical voice.
Well, this is what it sounds like. It's just soothing and lovely, and I get paid the big voiceover dollars to bring these kind of characters to life. And this is a little more subdued than all of my characters, really. Usually they're a lot more exasperated. I get chosen to be exasperated in Book of Life. I'm Goya and Ali, the voice of those two characters, and they originally called one character in the script, and they were the cowardly soldier. So I'm in scenes with Channing Tatum, and he's the big buff soldier, and I'm the complete coward. I'm being typecast in some way.
And you aren't even on the show. Like, it's they draw you. So
Are you familiar with how animation works?
Maybe. Is that how it works?
Nobody's in it, right?
God damn it.
That is how it works. It's no humans in it whatsoever.
Do we have the light bulb sound effect for Roya?
What have I been watching? Man, I don't know.
You're watching drawings.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
I've been drawing stick figures, so I don't. Is that the same thing?
That's the beginning.
Okay.
That's where it starts.
You can make a stick figure flip book. We all did it when we were kids. Sure.
Yeah.
Still do it, I think.
Oh, yeah. On the Post-it notepads.
Oh, yeah.
Math class, man. That's
Heck
how.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being here.
And of course, next to him is Conrad Vernon, animated movie director from Shrek 2, my personal favorite, Monsters vs. Aliens, Madagascar 3, and a new one coming out called Sausage Party.
Yes.
Sausage Party.
A little bit of a diversion from what I usually do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got questions about that, which we'll get into near the end. But
yeah, we'll kind of recap the episode and then talk to you guys at the end about.
I want to know right now what Sausage Party is.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it. Don't worry.
Gotta hang around for
Very
it.
interesting.
Spoiler.
But can you do Gingy for us?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
See, you're lucky because your voices are all down here. By the time I get done with a Gingy. When I do like this for about 3.5 hours, it really starts to make my voice feel crummy, and it's terrible. It's just, I mean, after a while, I'm just like gargling tea constantly.
So you're gonna recap this SNL episode like that, right?
Yeah, for about 10 seconds.
We've got plenty of tea. We've got plenty of tea. So
when people find that out, do people ask you to do that voice?
Always. I've put my nephews to bed with that voice. My sister calls me and goes, "Will you please tell them to go to bed in Gingy's voice?" She's doing her Satan impression. And I'm just like going, "You gotta go to bed now, or I'll come over there and I'll whip you up."
You have Heisenberg for a sister.
Yeah, exactly.
Please put them to bed.
Jesse, get in bed.
You know my name.
Oh, I cannot wait till we get into this discussion about their movies. Oh, it's gonna be fun. But let's get into the cold open. What do you guys think with Obama introducing the czar, the Ebola czar, Ron Klein?
I feel like it could have.
Klein.
Yeah.
I feel like it could have been funnier because Ebola is a big thing now. There's lots of funny topics about it. But I did like Kenan as Al Sharpton when he said Caesar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Al Sharpton's a ringer. They can bring in Keenan in any skit, and I feel like it's funny,
win.
especially as Al. Yeah, especially as Al Sharpton. I did think it could have been funnier. I thought it was a little subpar for a cold open with Ebola. I think maybe this is how I felt. I felt like the writers were trying to be careful because while you can make it funny and lighthearted, it's still a very serious thing, and people have died, and people are really actually worried about this thing still. I don't think we've passed the point where people are not worried about it. So I think they just played it safe, but had to talk about it because it's the most topical big thing happening. One of them right now.
Can I just say something about
Absolutely.
it from I don't want to say a point of expertise, but I'm assuming none of you have Ebola. I just got back from West Africa, and I have a strong case of Ebola. No, I don't want you to. I want you to really hear this. This is very important.
Is
Very
this your
important
water
part.
or mine?
Let's just share water. Why don't we share water? And I just feel as though they really captured the spirit of it. They captured the heart of the.
Were you really
The
in West
heart of
Africa?
Ebola.
No, I was not. But in my mind, I go to all infectious places.
You do,
And
just so you
swim
can talk
there.
from a first-hand experience.
I like to be. I pretend as though I was there. It's
And swim
exciting
there.
for me. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's good. Let me say everything before I say anything today. I love Saturday Night Live. It is an iconic institution. I love it. That said, I'm not a fan of Jay Farrow's Obama impression.
Yeah,
He does
with you.
great impressions.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
That's his weaker one.
But it does not. Fred Armisen's was much better.
Yeah, I miss Fred Armisen.
Really?
Saturday Night Live
I didn't like
misses
Fred Armisen's.
Fred Armisen.
I did not like it. There was
I-
something about it. Maybe I'm one-dimensional and never mind, I'm not going to.
Here's my thing with Fred Armisen. I feel like at any moment he's the kind of guy who will say something that will make you laugh. Like anything could come out of it. Kind of when you watch Zach Galifianakis, at any moment you think the next thing that could come out could be could be on the floor.
I think that's what I was missing from the sketch completely is a just a diversion to what you didn't think. There was
layer.
There was no surprise
Yeah.
in it. You know, it's just like, okay, we're talking about Ebola. Now we're going to go to the czar. Then we're going to go to questions. And it was just kind of running on a theme. And usually what will take a sketch to the next level, I think, is when something completely unexpected comes in and turns it in a different way.
Yeah.
True.
And I thought that was missing in that.
But
on the other hand, I do like his Obama impression,
You do?
but I've never heard it before.
Okay.
So when I saw it, I was
Right.
like, oh,
No,
that's
that's
pretty
not
good.
bad.
You
Gotcha.
know,
This
I did
doesn't
love
feel
Al Sharpton
nuanced
more,
enough
though.
to me.
Yeah.
I believe I myself could do a better Obama.
wow.
Well,
Jay
it's better
Farrell.
than I
I
can
feel
do.
like
for
a
sure.
lot
Thanks a
of
lot.
people can do better than Obama.
Right?
It's
Try
an
it. Try it
easy-
right now.
Do it right now.
My fellow Americans.
Pretty good.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Fellow Americans.
It's not bad
I think
either.
that's kind
Alright.
of Bill
Your
Clinton
turn?
though with this.
Around the give it a shot, Roya.
Man,
Roya,
man.
just say my fellow Americans.
My fellow Americans.
No,
sound like
no,
Bill
no,
Clinton.
You did not try. This
Other
is more
president.
when you're trying to go for like a Bill Clinton vibe, let me say. It's not
Where's my
bad.
saxophone?
But while
Monica.
while staying in the box of it, though, I thought it was a pretty funny turn they put in the sketch where that the Ebola czar that they hired was just for political purposes, and he was encouraging people in the South to not vote in the
You know what? That
election
was funny.
because of Ebola.
That was
Describing
kind
all
of
the red
clever.
states.
Yeah.
That was very clever.
It was definitely a lot
give you
better
that.
than the cold open with Bill Hader with what was his name?
Haters gonna hate, man.
With
I don't-
Kim Jong Un.
Yeah, this was a better cold open than that one.
I feel like that was a little bit funny. Well, I don't know.
By the
They're
way,
both meh.
BTW, have they found Kim Jong Un yet? Does anybody know?
They
came
haven't seen
back
him in
Is he
around.
gone?
They
He's
have nobody's
missing.
seen
My
him.
question.
Nobody's seen him in like 2 months.
No, he was missing for like a month plus, but then he reemerged at one event. Has he gone back into hiding? Because he did reemerge for one
He did.
event.
Does
I
it
know
have
that-
anything to do with the interview, the new movie coming out? Because it's all about him.
Oh, yeah.
Pissed
Oh,
about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
What if
It's
it's
PR.
real? What
Yeah, I
if they
bet
really
it's
are
PR.
getting him?
I bet he's actually on board with the movie.
Because his
probably
dad
right.
loved movies so much in Hollywood entertainment. Must have rubbed off on the son. Maybe he's like, let me be part of it. I go in hiding.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'll drive tank for you.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
I will die for.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. For this cold open, what would you guys rate it? Like letter grades? Like if you're in school, this is what we rate
I've
each
never
sketch.
been to school, so
Oh, poor kid.
how do I? Can you
There's
explain to me
A
the
plus,
system?
top of the hierarchy.
And then
Top, okay.
Z
F
is
minus.
F is F
No,
minus.
we give
the
our
worst.
we give our F's variations. F plus,
I like
F,
that.
F minus.
I like that.
A plus to F minus. Guest go first, please.
Can you please after you. Sir.
Well, considering that Bill Hader hosted 2 weeks ago and they did another C-SPAN opening, that'll take it down another grade for me.
Okay.
So I'd give it a C.
Okay.
I give that sketch a C. Agreed.
I gave it a B minus because it was
C.
better than last
I
week's.
gave it a C
or
too.
last
Yeah.
time.
Moving on. Jeez.
What do you
Alrighty.
give it? What do you give it?
C.
Oh.
Absolutely. Maybe a C plus.
So now for the introduction of the cast. We have a new cast member, Leslie Jones.
Woo,
she was announced on the featured. Good for her.
Yeah.
I like
So
Leslie
excited.
Jones.
And I was
You
really
guys
happy.
familiar with Leslie Jones?
No.
She's a writer on the show. She was in the skit where they went. Taron Killam played the ghost investigator, and they went into the house.
The skeptic.
She's the African American
She was
skeptic.
the one that freaked out.
Yes, that's Leslie Jones. So she
She's
was a
great.
writer on the show, and she made her first guest appearance last year on a Weekend Update. On a guest appearance, she came in as this comedian, and everybody was like, "Holy crap, where's this lady been? She's amazing. She adds a cool, aggressive perspective to the show." And now she's been on a little bit, and now she finally was introduced in the opener as a featured player, which is
exciting
cool
for her.
Yeah, it's a big deal for her.
Did you know she actually auditioned with Sashir?
I did not
And
know
Sashir
that.
obviously got the spot before her.
Well, and then I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, and for those of you that are tuning in this season, there was the big issue last year with not having any African American women on
I
the
heard
show.
about that. Yeah.
And now we have two who are both fantastic. And I didn't know that they auditioned together. That's news to me.
So she got the writing spot.
What do you guys
Roya.
think of Daryl Hammond being the announcer now?
It's growing on me, but
I liked this one. This is
I
the
can't
best
even
one.
recognize his voice in it.
I
though.
can't
Yeah.
either. I didn't know that was Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not loud enough still.
He's not loud enough.
Turn them up.
I think there's
Yeah.
got to be a little bit of like
Energy?
something. Yeah, I mean, with Don Pardo, it
So
was
exciting.
always just like
Saturday
here we
Night
go.
Live.
It's Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
pretty
and
good.
this.
He added some character.
It's just he just began, so maybe he'll find something.
But I
it's-
mean, just
you want that
project a
Johnny
little.
Olsen Price is Right type
Yes.
of, you know,
Yeah.
bang.
Bill Hader. Can you give me a little something.
Yeah.
Extend those names out a little.
Yeah.
and as a cast member, you would know what that feels like to hear your name. You would want that same
Yeah.
energy.
The
It's
host
just-
comes
you're
in.
the host.
He goes Jim Carrey. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
That's not pumped up. This is you're working for 1 minute a week.
Exactly.
Bring some verve in your voice for crying out loud.
Verve.
Yeah.
There you go.
Even the way I said verve was more vervaged.
Vervy?
Vervish?
Vervish?
Vervish.
Ververy.
Five-ish Winkle, I believe,
Yeah, you're right.
is the way it's said.
Did that go over
Yeah.
your guys' head? You with us here?
Five-ish
I'm
Winkle.
so with you.
All right,
Over.
good.
So what do you guys think of Helvish? Or Hellish? Helvish.
Helvish I like.
Helvish.
I didn't get it.
I didn't get it either.
Me
What was,
neither.
can you explain to us?
I just thought it was out of the box. I didn't expect it. I he came down, in the Elvis costume, and I was like, okay.
I laughed at that.
But it was more about something, when he started singing, and then the people came behind him, and the chorus came up, and it just built and built and built. It was like you didn't think it was going there.
And it
I
made
was
you
just
laugh,
like-
though?
It didn't make me laugh. It was entertaining, though.
The fact that he just sang Pecan Pie over and over again.
I
No,
will
I-
agree with you on this, that I didn't stop watching. I was glued to it in a way that I'm not sure I would use the word entertaining, but I couldn't stop watching it. But I
I
didn't
think you
understand
kept
the
waiting for
pecan
something
pie.
better to
Yeah,
happen.
that's why I kept
Yeah.
watching
That was
it.
my only thing.
I
with
did
it.
that is my only criticism of it, is that it got to a certain point and then it kind of leveled out.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
made no left turn at all.
But I didn't expect there to be like this huge song and dance number.
Right.
There's been so many times where I've watched and they come out, they say so excited to be here, they do a little bit, and then they go, well, we got a great show for you, and I miss the days, and I'm just gonna go way back.
No, do it.
But I miss the days where where Steve Martin would host, and
he's the
he would
best.
come out and put that giant clamp on his head and just go, I woke up with a splitting headache, or one of my favorites was Lily Tomlin when she hosted, and she actually, they started outside of 30 Rockefeller. She pulled up in the limo with a huge entourage, pouring champagne and forgetting everyone's names. I love that. Like she had not been there all
That's
week,
awesome.
and it was like it just.
Classic.
When you do something that is kind of formulaic, where they walk down the stairs, they do a little bit, and then you're on with the commercial. After that, I start to expect what's coming, and I think that does something to the comedy of it.
Yeah.
Even if it's well written, it's just when you expect it, then you kind of are ahead of it. And I didn't expect this. I expected him to come out and do some impressions and
Right.
Okay.
go on with it.
True, that's a fair point.
You expected maybe what was in the first sketch to maybe be in the opening monologue.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha,
I thought
okay.
that type of thing.
You know, I think
remember-
maybe I did too.
Do you
Interesting.
remember back when Steve Martin hosted one time and the cold open of the show was that he was nervous to go out there? He hadn't been on the show in a long time and he didn't want to do it. They were like, here's the King Tut outfit. He's like, I don't know if I can. And then then Martin Short walks in and Chevy Chase and start pumping him up, and all of a sudden he starts walking through the halls and it becomes a huge musical number. And it was the whole thing was about
Yes.
going to, he's like, I'm just going to phone it in, guys. And they're like, give it your all, Steve. And he's like, going to do my best tonight. Live from New York.
It's
line. And they held a cue card. It's Saturday night. He goes, it's Saturday night. It was so classic.
That's amazing. And well, I mean, Steve Martin's always been known for actually preparing for, stuff like this whenever he goes on Letterman or the night shows. He's got a bit. And I feel like he has a lot to do with that stuff. I'm gonna name drop here only because it pertains to what we're talking about. I was honored enough to record with him a couple weeks ago. And I asked, we were asking him about Saturday Night Live, and he did say, my God, it's been 40 years, and it's amazing that Lorne Michaels has actually kept it together this long, because he said, just think about the amount of personalities that you have to deal with on a daily basis. And put on a live show and keep the network happy for 40 years. So I mean,
it's a legendary, unbelievable, maybe the best executive producing performance ever in history. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And that many comedic talents. You're not dealing with like straight-nosed newsmen like running Meet the Press for so long. You're literally running an institution with like comedic geniuses.
Yeah, exactly. And keeping all of them happy, and then you have a guest host on top of that, a different one,
a diva
every
half
single
the time.
week. Exactly. And so when you're dealing with this kind of pressure and everything, it's insane. But I will say that over the years, I've found it to be a little bit more where, I've heard many interviews, on TV and radio where even the people who are in the cast are saying, now we have an audience. We have a core audience that we are aiming for. And I feel like that's going to limit what you can actually put on the show.
Yeah.
I've known a couple of writers from that show, and they've pitched me, skits that never got on, and they're hilarious. But it just kind of narrows it and becomes more predictable.
Can I tangent on what you just said? Do you guys watch the Late Night with Seth Meyers at all?
I do watch a little bit.
Have you seen he does these second chance skits?
Oh, yeah.
Where it's second chance skits that never made it on. And I don't watch a ton of them, but I've seen a few, and that's what it made me think of, which I kind of love hearing that. And I'll name drop since we're doing this, but Will Forte had one on there. He's a good friend of mine. And some of these sketches that he's gone on to tell us about, I think are funnier than almost anything that was on this episode. Right. Some of these things that you hear that never make it to air, which shocks me, and it kind of goes to what you guys are talking about, that they keep this together when the stuff that actually makes us laugh doesn't make it.
Well, I think it's an institution at this point.
Yeah.
And so everyone...
It's a machine.
They expect it to be there. It's kind of like something comforting almost, rather than this crazy...
out of the box,
avant-garde show that people are just going to run out on stage and let the chips fall where they may. It is a machine now, and so I'm just wondering if there's any room for doing something like the old Albert Brooks
the
short
films.
film, or Mr. Bill, or just something where all of a sudden you're going, what the hell is this?
Well, Sandberg did it for a while with the digital short.
Yeah,
I think that was more funny though. It wasn't like Albert Brooks was kind of different.
I thought a lot of Sandbergs were more being weird and weren't always hilarious, like just randomly like punching someone in the face for the whole video. It's like it wasn't a great comedic premise. They were just being weird and like hoping you laugh because it's so weird.
Well, and this was my thing last year when they introduced Beck Bennett and Kyle Mooney, who had the Good Neighbor. I don't know if you guys are familiar. They had a group called Good Neighbor Stuff, which was some of my favorite content that existed on the internet. And then they brought it to SNL, and they had their own spot at the end of the show every episode last season. It was weird and it was new, and a lot of people didn't get it. But there's people like me who loved it, and I would assume there's more people out there that loved it. I miss the weird.
Well, people tune in because they want to see what's happening next.
Yes.
What will they do this week? I mean, all of a sudden, Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi get up and do a song number and create the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow, where did that... And, and I think the first one, they were dressed up in bees costumes.
Right. Like your microphone.
I think I have, like the microphone.
And since you mentioned Good Neighbor, I should mention my dear friend, Nick Rutherford, is the third guy in Good Neighbor, just got hired as a writer on SNL.
Did he really?
So they're all there now.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I was watching some of their stuff last night.
They're awesome.
It's some of my favorite
his
content.
girlfriend, Jade Catapretta, is one of the leads on Manhattan Love Story on ABC.
It just got
It
canceled.
did it? Oh, no!
Yeah, I have a friend on the show. It was the first one to go.
Alive. No way.
Rest in peace,
It's a
Manhattan
bummer.
Love Story.
Well, let's end on that sad note, because I could not go anywhere happy. What did you guys grade
I could
this
walk
monologue?
down memory lane with this. This is awesome.
Well, let's get back to the monologue. What did you guys grade it? I gave it a B because have you guys seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Yeah.
Apparently this pecan pie is a bit that's on the DVD that's an extra. And Jim Carrey rides around in a like motorized car with a mattress and he's just singing the same exact song.
Oh.
So
because I thought it was like an inside joke that I didn't know about.
And it was.
It is. 2003. So.
It's exactly what it was.
So I gave it a B. What'd you guys?
I gave it a C- because I didn't know what he was singing at first.
Yeah.
I was like, "What's pecan pie? Like, what is that?" And there's
It's a dessert.
Now I know. And there's been a lot of musical monologues this whole season so far. I mean, 3 out of 4 have been musical, and I don't think they're that funny. I think they just want to sing.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Did you guys have a grade for it?
I mean, look, again, out of huge respect for SNL and for Jim Carrey, who I think is a comedic, crazy rare genius, I gave it like a D+, because I just did not laugh. I thought it was this repetitive song. But I do take your point that it was so weird, and it went, it kept getting bigger and bigger. So, like, maybe a C-.
Okay.
But I didn't see the other 2 or 3 musical numbers,
Right.
so I was surprised by it. So yeah, I'd go B-.
Sweet.
All right,
I'm not alone. Finally.
Straight into the first digital short.
Matthew McConaughey, Lincoln.
I love this.
So
I was
good.
waiting for someone, I think, to parody this because, and especially that he took a step back from getting an Oscar. In my opinion,
Yeah.
I think it's a step back from getting an Oscar to doing a
Yeah.
car commercial. But whatever, he's Matthew McConaughey.
How much did he get paid? That's the question.
Probably
A lot.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like when Brad Pitt did the Chanel No. 5 thing, which they parodied
Right.
on SNL as
Yeah.
well. But it was like all of a sudden he's doing a cologne commercial. What are you doing, Brad Pitt?
Well, I think they're finally starting to pay these guys
Which they
what
probably
Japan
are.
pays them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Here's $5 million to
Good
do
God.
this cigar commercial.
And they're
Yeah.
realizing no one cares. Nobody's going to not see a Matthew McConaughey movie because he was in a car commercial.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No one's going to say, forget it. The movie looks great, but I will not go.
I will say I'm
Yeah.
also not going to buy a Lincoln because of it.
True.
No offense
But
to
that's
Matt
all
or
of
to Lincoln.
advertising in general.
but-
I feel like I never understand when the thing doesn't espouse like old school advertising used to benefits of the product. I don't know why. Just because he's driving in a Lincoln, I'm supposed to care. It's a great monologue. I'm riveted. I do not leave thinking I have to drive the car he was in.
Maybe the car gave him those thoughts. I
You
don't
think
know.
it did? You think maybe that was what they're trying to make you think?
Yeah.
It's feeding thoughts to you.
Either that or it's
see that.
a self-help tape that he's been listening to.
There
it is,
there it is.
Radio, something
Right.
like that.
Which
could
he
be.
would do. He would listen to himself talk to himself. That
Sure.
sounds like something Matthew McConaughey would
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I mean, if it were true, every movie that someone drives a car, you would leave the theater. All you'd be talking about is like, I need that car. What was that? The one scene that was real dramatic. The guy had sex in the car. I need a Subaru.
Yeah, there you go.
I need a Subaru.
yeah.
Exactly. There's plenty of room.
Could have been his magical booger that he had in his hand.
I love
That,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was
That
the
was gold.
punchline. That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, that was gold for me.
Because I YouTubed the commercials afterwards because I didn't see all them.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing in all the commercials.
Yeah.
Just
It's
like
so
going like that.
funny.
So I think it's safe to say we all gave it an A pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, that was an A for
Well,
sure.
and here's the thing. I would have given it an A standalone, but the fact that we saw it continue to be a repetitive joke
yeah.
just solidified it. I'd give it an A+. It was one of my favorite
It
digital
was
shorts.
really
kept getting
hilarious.
Are we
better
are we
and
grading
better.
the commercials separately? Because I would say that
Let's do them as a whole.
the one with Keenan
It's the best.
Yeah.
was the best of all of them.
Because you
to me.
weren't. You
It
didn't
changed the
know.
game.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
your point earlier.
Because I was like,
it
oh,
added
he's
a
doing
layer.
the Allstate guy, and then boom,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
you cut
that
to
was
him
great.
doing
Yeah.
this and
Yeah.
it's with the
Yeah.
tie on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
know,
you know
I-
McConaughey, when he agreed to do this commercial, he probably just like, he's so weird, he just said like, I'll do him if I'm allowed to twirl a random thing in my hand. They're like, sure, that's an easy request.
Sure,
What do you
Matthew.
think about me doing this?
Yeah, can I do this?
Can I do this? Yeah, you like that?
Like when I do that random thing in my hand.
Oh, this is great. So as a whole, I give
Yeah.
all of them an A+.
Yeah.
It was one of my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's clever.
Now you guys are just great with your impressions. What did you guys think of the next sketch of the Carrey family reunion and their impressions? We had,
Hit and miss.
Sweetwater Steakhouse.
which by the way, all these family names were actually legit family members of Jim Carrey.
Oh, that's
yeah, like the
awesome.
first names.
How did you find that out?
I'm Googling. I'm a good Googler.
Wow.
Is that your
Good
title?
job.
I'm a Googler.
Roya Taheri,
I don't
good
goggle.
Googler.
I Google.
All right.
So, yeah, so that's his family's actual names.
Jay Carey, Percy, John, Eddie, Bobby, and Grandpa Lloyd.
Well, except
Well,
for
I
that
don't know if
one.
that one's out
yeah,
already, yeah.
let's not go that far. What'd you guys think? I thought Kyle Mooney had the best one, the
Really?
skateboarder one.
First, oh really? I thought the first
Taryn,
guy.
Taryn
Yeah?
Killiam killed it.
Yeah, Taryn was great. I thought
Yeah.
the skateboarding guy was very bad, actually. My
Yeah,
opinion.
Kyle. I
He
like
didn't
how
hit
he's-
it.
Yeah,
it
I
seemed
like.
very generic to me.
Well, and the sketch as a whole, I would say I wasn't crazy about.
Yeah.
I thought the first the first guy who came out, who
Taron
did
Killam,
Taron, he did fantastic,
Killed
and
it.
I was like, yeah. And then it just became variations on a theme
And
for the rest of the sketch.
I
And
feel
was
like it was
"Alright."
like a bad, remember when they had the Christopher Walken reunion?
Yeah.
A bad version of that, in that like everybody, even Amy Poehler, did a great Walken impression.
Right.
And this one, like, Cecily Strong was just basing it on the face. It was just like too jokey.
It's pretty key for the impression to be good for that sketch to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they weren't terrible. I mean, and they added some things like the who was it that came? Was it Kate that talked out of her butt?
No, that was Vanessa.
That was
Yeah.
funny.
Vanessa.
That was
But like,
funny.
yeah, they added some variations
made
for
me
me
laugh.
that made me laugh out loud too.
I wanted more butt though. That wasn't butt enough.
Yeah,
to
she
talk out of your
wasn't.
butt.
She wasn't invested
Yeah.
in it.
You really gotta get up
Gotta-
in there and just like talk.
Yeah.
You do this often.
I Google.
I Google. I'm a good Googler.
I wanted her to do like the Tarzan thing. That's what he did in the movie. It's like
Well-
my favorite movie of all time.
So here's my thing. I love the idea that they wanted to put Jim Carrey's best characters into one sketch.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant. I would have liked to see something happen at the end. This is what would have made it better for me. Jim Carrey does maybe like a 30-second line, like one signature line from each character to like close it out or something. Something that takes it to the next
Or
level.
what if he left?
He just walks
Right.
out?
He's
like, I can't handle you guys.
He left and met other family members outside the set, or do something that like, or he gets in a fight with them, or I was like,
Yeah, work them in a way that advanced the story.
yeah,
instead
where
of
they didn't just
another
walk
guy.
on camera and
Right.
do their impression and then walk off,
Yeah.
or enter, through the door and say, here's another one, and here's
Right.
another one. Here's, like I said, it became variation on a theme, and it just kind of started to peter
Fizzled,
Yeah.
yeah. Even Jeff Daniels his impression wasn't the best.
I know, but I wanted to see just a little more of Jeff Daniels.
Me too.
What's funny though is that you guys both wanted certain things from Jim Carrey. Like you wanted an impression of something that he's done in the past, and you wanted Jeff Daniels to show up.
I didn't say that, but okay.
But you guys got it in this sketch. You got
Yeah.
we pretty much got everything we would want out of Jim Carrey
I just wanted
in this
another,
one
I wanted
sketch.
another
Did it?
tier.
But did it bother you guys that his cue cards were right in front of him?
Yeah, why?
'Cause I thought maybe there was
the
people
eye lines
over
are
there,
messed
but
up. Here's what I can't understand for years on SNL. Why don't they have two sets of cue cards, on one here, so they can have cross eye lines, and it would look so much better.
Well, a friend of mine who directed Jim Carrey in an animated movie said that he moved around so much that he literally put microphones all the way around
Wow.
him so that he would
Smart.
be caught from any angle. It's the
Interesting.
same
Good,
idea.
that's smart, yeah.
And by the end of it, I was impressed with how many characters Jim Carrey has done and how all of them are really successful and
yeah.
funny.
And iconic.
Yeah, but that's all I got from the sketch.
Yeah.
Was, wow, he's pretty prolific.
I wish he brought. Yeah, I wish there was a whole sketch where he played Fire Marshal Bill for the whole sketch. I know it's obviously the New Living Color sketch, not SNL, but why not cross over at this point?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
some fun. That would have been cool to see, like a very silly.
Oh yeah,
old
what if the
school
place
character.
went on fire?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, fireman.
He did
Totally.
Yeah, Fireman Bill.
Yeah,
Like-
he just came in and put out the. It's
Yeah,
just something to give the actors there something to do.
Yeah, it just
give
seemed
them
like
business.
And even Jim Carrey, I was expecting him to do some brilliant things, and he just seemed like he was being very safe with it. It's like
Yeah,
play
he did.
Ace Ventura hosting a talk show, bring the character back for real, not just say "alrighty" then a couple times, and do. Let us have like a crazy. Oh shit! Jim Carrey did Ace Ventura last night for a whole sketch. That would be awesome.
Like you got to share it. It's shareable
Yeah.
content.
Right,
Let
totally.
me ask you guys this: do you think that's more of a writing foe, or is that a Jim Carrey
I think he
committing
probably
to the
said he
role?
didn't want to do it. I bet.
Maybe, and or it might have been a time issue.
Yeah.
We don't have time for him to swing through a window and put out a fire. I don't know. They're doing this in a week, so
Yeah.
it's like how much can you get done? They probably said, this is going to be good for everyone to, stretch their legs on who Jim Carrey is. So let's just put it up as is. It might have been better on paper than it was on stage, too.
Yeah, that's possible.
So what would you guys give it? I really liked it, so I gave it an A.
Give it a B.
I
Solid B.
I gave it a B because I liked the Ace Ventura things, and Taron killed it. Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm
And you
gonna
guys,
be minus.
See?
whoa.
See for
Alright.
me
Cool.
on that one.
All right, well, let's go on to the graveyard sketch, the one that
Colin
reminded me
Phil.
of the Haunted
Phil and
Mansion
Paul.
ride at
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it, Paul and Phil. It's a very catchy beat, and Sashir and Pete were really good in it, even though they only had a few lines. They were.
Actually, I
liked
thought
it.
they were terrible in it. I thought
Sashir was. Pete, though,
I thought Pete was terrible in
really?
it. Yeah.
God,
He was looking at his cue cards and just read. I don't think it was
I
about
thought Sashir was looking at her.
The good
cue
thing is
cards.
it wasn't about them.
Yeah.
It It was about
Paul and Phil.
Paul and Phil, and I thought that was funny to me.
I thought it was like an unfunny version of the ride. You
Yes.
remember the ride?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought it was a less funny version.
The
of that.
Marrowville.
I mean,
brothers.
I gave it a B-, but I thought it was funny. What do you guys think? Do you enjoy this sketch?
Again, I will say, I mean, this is probably something I'll be saying a few times, but again, once the punchline was given, flat lines.
They kind of
for
beat
me.
it to death.
As soon as Paul and Phil came out, I laughed. And then the second verse, I was like, okay. And then the third verse, and then, they just got angry. And I was just like, where's the curveball?
Mm-hmm. I agree exactly with that. I thought the initial joke was funny and cute and a funny thing to do, and then it just didn't take turns, and it just didn't keep making me laugh after that point. But it's a fun premise, creative.
So great.
I like Kenan as a tree.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Keenan had a couple lines that I kind of.
But like even him as a tree, I wish he pushed his face in more.
Oh yeah.
So you wouldn't see the space around. It's like, to me, those little details, it really makes it more plausibly interesting and makes you laugh more.
Or draw attention to it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say C.
What did I say? B? B-?
I give it a B.
Yeah.
Because it had a catchy song that got stuck in my head. So it's still in my head.
I'd give it a B- because they did write the song, they wrote the lyrics, they all rehearsed it, they got it, and it went off. I mean, it did make you laugh, at least in the first third of it. So
Yeah.
It was not my favorite. I give it an A+.
There you go.
I like that.
Sweet.
I wish I
caught
were
me
in
off
school
guard.
with you.
I like that.
So now we're at the musical performance.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about both of them. We'll condense it into one topic.
Okay.
First, Iggy performs Fancy in the first one and then mixes into Black Widow, which
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that she did that because
Yeah.
I was wondering why the beat sounded really weird for Fancy, and then she transitioned into Black Widow, which made sense. But it kind of threw me off that she wasn't holding a microphone. I know that's really not important, but she had like the lip sync headset.
The Madonna thing.
She's dancing.
Yeah, but still, she was 100%.
Dancing.
This was just off. I'm not against Iggy. I'm not necessarily like an Iggy fan, but it just didn't. Something about it was weird. I was watching it with my friend Kimberly, and it was just, we both said the same thing. Like, something sounds off. It sounded like a stripped down, slow version of the song. I don't know. It was weird to me, even when it went into Black Widow. And then this is what actually bothered me when Rita Ora came out, the girl that you said looked like J-Lo-ish. When she came out, what she did, she looked like a Rihanna J. We were talking about this before the show. Rihanna J-Lo mix comes out. It looked unrehearsed.
Yeah.
When they started looking at each other
Yeah.
and then they like backed up, like they didn't know where to go.
It was awkward.
Same time, I loved that part so much and loved it. And it was the first time I found Iggy Azalea very attractive, and I was very into it. And my parents were in the room, and it was uncomfortable. It was a nice.
I did like her wavy hair.
Yeah, and they almost kissed. That was going to be a nice moment, and then it didn't happen. But it could have been great.
Totally redeemed herself.
It could have been my playground.
I just felt old. I just looked at it and went, I don't get this at all. These kids and their music, I just went, is that her real butt? I think we were just talking about that, and I was just like, that is
I hope so.
one hell of a butt.
Yeah.
But just old guy sitting there looking at someone's butt,
She
going,
does
I don't
have
get
a
this music.
phenomenal bootay.
Yeah. So
My goodness.
if you remember, what are the musical guests in all your years of Saturday Night Live? What are the ones that stick out in your head?
Sinead O'Connor.
In sync.
Justin Timberlake.
Hanson. Yeah.
B-52s.
Ashley Simpson.
wow.
Oh, they were good.
That was back in the 70s. And when I was a little kid, we all went to school the next day and went, did you see the B-52s last night?
Oh, wow.
They had Frankenstein hair, and they were at the keyboards going, no, like that. We were like, what is this?
Right.
And so there was a certain part of Iggy Azalea that kind of made me go, what is this? This is so odd. That's about all I got out of it.
All right.
I mean, I saw her live at Austin City Limits, and she was not good at all. So she was a lot better here, but still wasn't that good.
Weird thing for me is her voice. I still can't get past her
not loud
voice.
enough.
And it's not her real, that's not how she talks.
Yeah, she's Australian.
It's a character voice. So imagine doing a whole song in a character voice.
Iggy is, I guess, yeah.
Well, yeah, she's not like,
Well, I figured
AFTERBUZZ TV, and then this, whatever she does, those inflections.
It sounded like she was doing a rapper impression.
That's a great.
That's kind of what I was
description.
thinking.
It's kind of what it sounds like.
But
Doing
that's
an
a lot.
impression.
If you know this, that's what Black Widows do.
Yeah.
Like a black widow, baby, black widow, baby.
I saw
That's
a
what they do.
meme.
Yeah.
I saw a meme
Great
yesterday
impression.
with that song where it's Black Widow, like a
Black Widow.
Black Widow
Black
baby.
little baby. Yeah.
A black
just-
little baby. That's
Yeah.
cute.
It's a Black Widow baby.
Like a black little baby.
Yeah.
That's cute.
What'd you guys think of her second performance for? It's in her new single, "Beg for It," and that one girl that looks like she's from the Addams Family.
Yeah, the sound was off. The backup
Yeah.
singer could not sing. Did
That's
you
what I
notice that?
saw. I said, "Are they lip syncing?" Because I heard her underneath
Yeah.
Yes.
the actual recording. And I
Again,
was
for
just
me,
like
like-
going, "That's interesting."
It was
was
like
weird.
unrehearsed.
I didn't know if it was feedback, like a reverb, like she was
That's
listening to her
possible.
own voice, or she was actually singing and they forgot to turn her mic off because they were lip syncing. I don't know which one it was.
Yeah.
Press the mute.
But she
I
had
mean-
the singers in both songs that came out and wailed, and I was like asking myself, does she sing?
Nope.
No, she just raps.
She just
She's a
impressed.
rapper.
She does
Yeah.
impressions of rapping.
The
Okay.
singer is not there for the singing. She's there for
I like
for
Iggy.
the-
When her songs
for
come on the
Black-
radio, I
Black
move.
Widow booty
Yeah.
shaking.
That's right. Okay,
Black Widow
got it.
booty.
So for
Right.
I liked how she took the stage and made it something different because we're used to people just coming in having a normal SNL stage, and she changed it completely. I think that's great. Performance wise, I gave it a B because it was just so weird between the two girls. There was something off. I don't know. I was really bummed
Yeah.
because I have her CD.
Let's move on to Weekend Update.
Yes, Weekend Update, which got better. It's getting better and better and better.
I don't know. I feel like this was my least favorite one of so far.
I
No.
think me too, actually.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Damn, it's
No.
always in the studio. We're always against each other in the
Yeah.
studio.
We have differing opinions. We're usually on
Yeah.
different sides of the proverbial fence.
The Ebola joke was really funny though
Ebola joke
Yeah.
was
in the
funny.
beginning, but
What's the joke again?
how he went to the bowling alley, went for a run. He did more than
Oh,
he does
yeah.
in a week.
He just had a
Instead of
Red Bull.
Yeah.
I think there could have been more
In fact, Red Bull's
alliteration.
worse for you. Yeah.
Yeah, they could have done more alliteration plays on Ebola, bowling alley, and Red Bull, Ebola. Like, I think that could have been funny for me. But it was
Ebola.
still funny, yeah.
What did you guys think of Daisy Rose, the romantic comedian expert?
Thought it was different and
Oh, it's so funny.
cute.
I
yeah.
thought Vanessa
Yeah.
was brilliant.
She's really
Vanessa,
She makes me laugh so hard.
yeah, she's so
I
awesome.
love her. That was so funny. Almost as funny as her funniest character in the world is her 13-year-old bar
Jacob,
mitzvah
yes,
boy.
the bar mitzvah
Yeah.
boy.
It's the funniest thing ever. But the smile she makes in that character, and this one too, it was a great satire of romantic comedies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was so funny. I thought it was just, she just fell in love for no reason. With everything he said was somehow the perfect storybook answer to her. I thought it was so clever.
So good, yeah.
The perfect Manhattan love story.
And
yeah,
then-
sad. Drop a little,
Yeah.
little sip for my friend Jade.
And then, of course, we have my favorite character, Drunk Uncle.
She loved, now, I have to say, this is my least favorite drunk uncle. Until the very end when he started just being weird for no reason.
When he was singing that song, that made me laugh. What was that song?
He's like Caribbean something.
Oh,
like,
Caribbean Queen.
Yeah,
and then he
Caribbean.
started
Billy
crying.
Ocean. So
and then he
funny.
just started crying.
yeah,
That made me laugh.
yeah, it did. I didn't like the beginning of Drunk Uncle though.
You didn't? Was it too
I
racy
did like
for
that
you?
he moved from Michael Che's
Yeah.
side over to Colin's side. That was funny
He's
to
like,
me.
trick or
That
treat,
was
smell
very
my...
funny.
Oh, sorry, second floor, please.
Yeah. That was funny.
I didn't expect him to do that. That's why I really enjoyed. But
And when he said goji berries in my Dropbox, I laughed out loud.
so far, this episode of SNL has really actually made it in a Halloween episode. You remember last year's Halloween episode?
It wasn't much of a Halloween
No,
episode.
they had one sketch of Halloween.
Yeah, the
with-
very last sketch last year was the only Halloween episode. This one's Halloween from
Yeah,
like almost
you
from
know
front,
it's a Halloween
front to back.
sketch.
Yeah.
From Jim Carrey's costume to the very end.
So with Weekend Update, I gave it an A because I thought those two characters' correspondence were great.
I did think the drunk uncle thing. He was like Fitbit. He kept
Yeah.
tapping.
Yeah.
If you guys know anything about Fitbits, you have to like tap them, and there's like
You gotta tap 'em?
Yeah, you like people can't get them to go, so they're like going like this sometimes. So he's like Fitbit.
Seems like a design flaw.
Yeah,
Seems
little-
like it's a
just a little
flawed
bit.
operation.
maybe a major flaw.
Sure.
Yep.
So my least favorite sketch is Secret Billionaire.
I thought it was pretty funny, except I wanted to know who she chooses.
Also, speaking to your point about Jim Carrey moving around, did you notice in the first shot when he was hosting, you can see Jim Carrey? I didn't know whose head it was. You see a head come in the screen, and it turns out that it was his white hair playing his old character. He like walked in front of the camera.
Oh, when was that?
It was secret. So it's at the very beginning of Secret Billionaire, and it turns and it's Taron Killam and Cecily, and they're like hosting the show before they
Oh,
show
and
the
then you see
characters.
the head
and you
walk
see like a
by.
head walk in front of the camera, and like, was he late to the?
Must have been late.
Yeah. To your
Because I
point
saw
of,
that
like,
twice.
Really?
Yeah. You know when he had the big blonde wig on?
Yeah.
And they show that shot of the set? You know, during the commercials.
Yeah.
I saw this. You know, I saw him walking up on stage with the big blonde wig, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, it was a good sketch. I thought it was kind of funny, but again, it just reminds me of, you know, one of those variations on a theme thing where it was the same thing over and over. It reminded me of this Simpsons episode where Krusty the Clown is hosting Saturday Night Live, and they do the big ear family, and he walks out with a Q-tip and says, "Anyone need any help?" And then no one laughs, and someone coughs in the audience, and he goes, "Ugh, this sketch goes on for another 2 minutes." and it was like, I kind of felt like that in a couple of these, you know, where it was like, what Jim Carrey said made me laugh.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Because I've talked to a few very, very rich people, and this is what they do. I fed a goat $6 in quarters and watched him run around just for the hell of it, you know. And it's just like they do weird stuff like that because there's nothing else to conquer. You know?
And I love that it was this Illuminati character, this guy who's like literally secretly controlling the world. That was a funny, unexpected twist in it for sure.
The Dennis and Brian thing was so funny, like 250 Dennises.
That
was hilarious. See, that's the kind of weird shit they do.
I think that came from Jim Carrey's head. If I had to pick, I think that came from Jim Carrey's head.
Put one guy in there named Tony or something like that.
Just so good.
So what would you guys grade this then?
It was a B for me.
Yeah, me too.
I think let's fly through these last ones as much as we can.
Yeah.
So we can talk about you guys.
Ghost Fact or Fiction I thought was a great short. Because I watched Ghost Adventures, so that the editing that they did for this, I just thought was clever. It was so similar.
Okay.
And Leslie was great.
I wanted her to be crazier.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
She was too tame.
Like flip out.
Yeah.
She flipped out.
I want her to flip out.
Like
go.
No, I wanted her to like pull a gun and start putting everyone in a closet, saying, "No one's making me go in there."
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay, I can see her guys.
I think you could just push that so much further.
And then for the zombie apocalypse one, what did you guys think of that?
Meh.
I thought it was better than they did a Walking Dead one last year or 2013 with what's his face, Kevin Hart, and that one was terrible. But I thought this one was better than that.
I didn't really like it.
I didn't really like it either because I loved the next sketch, Halloween costume.
Yes,
yep, so good.
It's my favorite sketch of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love we don't get to see Lorne Michaels very often. I thought it was cool we got to see Lorne Michaels. They went through the entire set. They played with everything. There was movement.
See, I love that one because it reminded me of the Steve Martin Gilda Radner dance where they went on each stage and danced around the entire thing. It was just it's fun.
I can't tell you the last time we've seen that actually.
Right.
To be honest, and even seeing Lorne Michaels, it looked like. Did you guys see Lorne's face? He kind of looked at them and shook his head no, because they went like this. It almost looked like they had rehearsed and maybe tried to convince him to fall in their arms or do something.
No,
he was like,
they
guys,
always do that though with Lorne Michaels. Anytime they go around and they try and get him to come do something, he just shakes his head.
Still, it almost looked like he left. Like, don't you dare! I will kill you.
He has like the same face every time.
I don't know. I love seeing Lorne Michaels.
Iggy's best performance of the night.
Yeah, I did like that Iggy was involved. She committed to doing something, at least just something.
I missed this sketch, and I'm really bummed that I missed it. And it sounds amazing, and I give it an A+.
Awesome.
Nice.
I love the commitment.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then Joff's Halloween Emporium.
I thought that was okay.
It was like the porn stars, but
I wish they would have switched it around.
Porn
and
stars
ended.
mixed with that veterinarian, the vets.
Yeah.
Combined.
But it was a funnier twist than the vet thing, you know?
Yeah.
I like the
ended.
possessed thing and puking out. I don't know. I thought it was really fun.
Well, see, and I thought you could
Halloween-y.
go much further with
Yeah.
that. I wanted him to reach into one of their stomachs and pull out their lunch and,
He should have,
and do, just like get real Halloween with it.
Yes.
He puked on him, which was funny, but that was at the very end of the sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have to say their accents were pretty funny.
I think it should have been switch, and I think that the Halloween costume sketch should have been last. It would have ended on a really high
office
note
party
for me.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have maybe redeemed most of this episode. Not that it was bad.
Maybe it was just easier for him. Well, he didn't really have to get dressed, so never mind.
Highly recommend watch the Office sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can just-
I missed this one, too, and I give it a C-.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's where I'm at.
overall, the episode, I gave it an A just because it's upbeat from what we left with Bill Hader, which apparently got the lowest rating ever.
Surprisingly.
So,
I give it a B, and here's why: because I love Jim Carrey. I always will, till the day I die, and I cannot wait for Dumb and Dumber 2.
yeah.
I'm nervous about it, though.
Don't be.
I'm really nervous.
Don't build it up. Don't put it on a pedestal.
Just don't like that Lloyd might fall for Harry's
Don't
daughter.
do it. Get some
It's
popcorn
weird.
with no expectations and love on it.
I know. I gave it a B too, though, because I was just expecting a lot more from Jim, because I love him so much. And it was too safe of an episode.
Yeah, it was too safe.
Yeah.
A lot of the sketches you wanted to be bigger. That was,
And I wanted Jim Carrey in Weekend Update.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would have
yeah.
been great.
I wanted him to come in with Drunk Uncle.
he
if
was
he
in
did something.
every other sketch though, which is kind of rare for hosts because sometimes they're not in.
Usually
What?
there's one they take off.
Yeah.
I thought they started going a little spontaneous, and that's why I liked it. I gave it like a B-, but that's probably just me just going, I'm seeing a pattern here, and I just wish that we could be jolted out of that pattern every once in a while. And I think I was a couple times in this episode, so I was pleased about that.
Cool.
There you go. Let's
Before
talk
we,
about you guys.
Well, do you want to do a real quick prediction for next week, and then we'll start talking to them? That way we can get SNL out of the way.
I'd rather talk about. I don't have many predictions. I'm gonna like
For
it.
Prince and Chris Rock?
Yeah, it's gonna be great. They're
cool.
gonna do some
Prince,
amazing-
I'd love to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
Huge
that.
Prince.
That's
I
gonna be
just
cool.
want Maya Rudolph to come out and do the Prince with
Beyonce.
Fred Armisen. Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd
So
be
we'll
so
see if they
good.
do that.
Bet you we see it.
All right. Well, let's talk about you guys. Ben, I got a really random question for you. It's
Please.
it's super mature.
Sure.
Okay, it's really hard hitting. So when you were doing the Book of Life, were you in the same room with Channing Tatum?
I was not.
So you were not able to dick graze him?
I was not able to what?
Dick graze him?
Is that something you're supposed to do with Channing Tatum? It's like,
He
is
does
that like
it.
an ice bucket
You haven't
challenge?
done this yet? Oh man,
It's
great.
to raise
Really?
awareness.
You've
It's
done
to
it?
raise awareness for certain diseases
for
and
dick grazing.
dick
Yeah.
grazing. Yeah,
Just
it's a big
Google
thing in
his
the
name.
Why are
Right.
you
Midwest.
supposed to dick graze
I've
Channing
never
He
heard
Tatum?
of
does
this.
it. He has a video, a
Wait,
song
what
about
is
dick
it?
grazing.
What?
What?
What do you
guys,
mean?
come
What do you mean
on.
it's a song about it?
He's got a music video. Well, it's like
a funny
parody.
music
Yeah,
video.
yeah, about dick grazing people.
With your hand or with
Yeah.
your or with
Can
your
we just
hand.
be clear? What we're talking about? Dick grazing,
yeah.
not dick
So, like,
raising
Grazing
with a G.
with a G.
Yeah.
Separate
Grazing.
words. Got it.
Grazing.
Just wanted to be clear
Oh,
on that.
I thought you said raisin.
Oh.
See, I thought so too. I was
That's
like,
what
dick
you've done.
raising.
That's what you've done.
Yeah. Okay. I won't say anymore.
Ben's like, well, that
Easy
case,
mistake. I
yeah.
can see the mistake.
You should still try it.
You're right. You're right. I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna graze his dick. You better believe it, you guys.
You got to tape it though to
Oh, you
prove
do?
it. No, you just
Scotch-
for us. So you're not
Scotch
just
tape.
saying it.
Yeah.
Scotch
Yeah,
tape.
tape
I will.
it. Tape it.
Got it.
Yes.
I'm gonna tape it up.
Tape it up.
That'll require more than a graze, though, to be honest.
Tell us about Idiot Test.
Idiot Test is a ton of fun. It's a game show that I host on Game Show Network. It's on every Tuesday at 9 and 9:30.
Okay.
8 and 8:30 Central. And it's an out-of-the-box game show. We give the contestants visual puzzles, visual tests, and I put them through this mental exam, essentially. And they have to answer the questions. Time ticks down. They lose money every second they don't answer. When they get the questions right, they win money. When they get questions wrong, I make fun of them mercilessly.
Which you're probably fantastic at.
I'm not bad at it. I
Here's
definitely I don't hold back much. I'm not mean. I like to make them feel silly for getting their logic wrong.
I've seen it. It's great.
Oh, you've seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, man.
I thought it was great. Big
Oh, thank
picture,
you.
and you say, what is it about
Yes,
this
indeed.
picture? Yeah,
It's sneaky.
good.
Thank you so
Good.
much.
Yeah.
I appreciate you watching. That's cool. People are starting to see it. That's exciting.
Now, did you have to in the initial audition process for the
Yeah.
show, or when you were meeting with the network, did you have to pass some of these tests yourself?
I didn't audition. I didn't have to audition.
Just called you up and said, Ben.
Yeah, I've been on the network sporadically throughout the years, and they said they've been trying to find a show for me for a long time, and they offered it to me. I hosted a run-through in a conference room just to see how I fit with it, and it went great, and they offered me the show.
Amazing.
It was really, really fun. I was very lucky. But, yeah, I mean, they did not ask me if I'd be good at these tests. They never asked. And luckily, I'm fairly good at them, but that could have gone sour.
Do you ever test yourself on them?
Before every single episode,
Really?
I take the whole deck of tests.
Really?
And I see how I do, just so because I figured the best way to understand how to explain them
Yeah.
is to experience what they would experience.
That's cool.
Kind of like
front of millions
Malkovich
of
making Clint Eastwood experience what he experienced in The Line of Fire in that way.
Do you have a favorite moment maybe that's happened on maybe like after during a break or something that happened that didn't air?
There were a lot of fun moments, but I feel like the one aired recently was the USC versus UCLA episode,
Yeah.
and one of the USC students, this blonde kid, who just couldn't have been more lovable or dumb. It was so fun. He was like fun dumb. I don't know if you saw this one. He kept calling himself an idiot, and he was just like, I don't know. I clearly am stupid. I did not get that right. I just broke my new iPhone. I am sad. Thank you so much.
Is
and
it
is
bent?
it alive? Is it bent? Leave that to my pockets.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
No,
you
see,
guys.
if I was hosting that show and they got it right, I'd have to look off camera and go, did they get it right?
Yeah, it is definitely a challenge to make sure I don't, explain something wrong or read a question wrong, because there are all these rules with game shows, and standards and practices is right there, making sure you don't. It's a felony if I collude or even hint or favor one contestant over the other. A felony.
Wow.
I go to prison.
Did you
Wow.
watch Game Show before you did this?
The game show, the movie?
Yeah.
I did not, but I'd seen 21, and I was well scared by it.
The Ray Fine thing is
Yes.
It'll scare you.
Totally will scare you.
And
you guys want to play an idiot test?
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Just like a verbal one if you'd like.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we need to see which out of the 4 of you answers first.
Oh,
Okay.
do I have to play?
Yeah, you got to chime in.
Yes.
Just whoever answers first, I'll
Pressure's
say if you're right or
on.
wrong. If you're in a race, what place are you in when you pass the second place person? Your idiot test starts now.
First place.
Incorrect.
Oh, I know. Can I say
You
it
can't
again?
vote again. Anybody else?
Dang it.
When you pass the second place person.
Yeah.
I know it now.
Oh, yes.
You have 3 seconds. 2.
Can I say it? if
You're
I
in
don't
third
get it?
place.
No, when you pass second, you're not in third.
Second place.
You're in
Yeah,
second.
second place.
You're the new second place.
Yes,
when
right.
you pass
I'm
the guy
I'm
in
idiot.
second.
I overthought it. All right, give us
See?
another one. One
That's
more.
what people do on the test. They overthink it. They
Yeah.
overthink these things.
Can we
It's
do
very
one more?
exciting. Sure. I'm trying to think of another good verbal
I
one.
need a chance to redeem
I
myself.
don't know why I've
here.
done these a lot. I'm blanking right now at the moment on another verbal one. Let me think what another good one would be to give people. All right. How about this? All right. How many of each animal did Moses bring on the ark? 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4?
2.
Incorrect.
Wait.
4.
How many of
Incorrect.
each animal?
Hmm?
I guess technically 1.
No, incorrect. 0. Moses didn't bring animals on
That's
an
right.
ark. No, it didn't.
Dang it. Producers back to laughing.
There you
It's
go.
not funny. All right. Well done.
So, yeah, we give people questions that if you're not, you'd have to think and focus and show that you have good logic and good focus and attention to detail. And
No, I wouldn't win any
Then
money.
things work out.
That sucks.
It's a lot of fun, and then when they get it wrong, it's just so easy to make fun of them. Like, if you think Moses was the one with the animals, you get to really have a field day with people.
Read your Bible.
And then after you give the answer, you can just go, you idiot.
Yeah, you idiot. Usually they end up calling themselves idiots more, so it's pretty exciting.
And you spent 7 years with Chelsea lately.
That is true.
7 years, in
That
which
is
has
true.
come to an end, but it's a good memory.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, the time of my life on that show, getting to go on TV and just make fun of the world and get made fun of by one of the
Yeah.
Yeah, like-
sharpest tongues in the business.
She ripped you up a lot.
She
right?
did. She
Yeah.
liked to rip me up a lot.
But in a
towards
lo-
the end,
it's a
I started
loving
to
way.
throw it back slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a loving way. I mean, she meant all those insults, but it was loving.
Yeah.
She definitely, has a mixed opinion of me. Yeah. No, we're dear friends, but she definitely likes to criticize my flaws.
Now, will
That's
you?
what makes her real. She's honest with you.
Yeah.
She's not blowing any smoke up my ass.
Well, she's from New Jersey. That's
Yeah.
how those people are.
Joyzy.
Yeah.
Is any future projects with Chelsea perhaps? Maybe
You
guest
never
appearances?
know. I got to open for her on tour this year as well, so that was an absolute blast on the set she was developing for her Uganda Be Getting Me special. But I have no idea. Right now I'm working on my own things. I'm working on Idiot Tests, and I have a web series coming out called Cinedopes. Actually, November 25th on YouTube. I wrote and helped produce, and I'm one of the lead roles in this web series with Brian Drolet and Angeline Rose Troy and Ben Morrison. It's about the first movie theater ever to sell weed.
That's awesome.
And
Cinedopes.
a total group of misfits that work there. And it's an over-the-top screwball comedy, very classical in some ways. Like bits of it even harken back to like Three Stooges vibes and Three's Company vibes. Anything with three in it. Is,
Two of my favorites.
two of the best.
Come and
and,
knock 'em out.
and it's of course in a single camera style. It's really fun. It's a
Awesome.
very silly comedy. So please check that out at youtube.com/anarchy, Total Anarchy TV.
Total Anarchy TV.
Cinedopes, November 25th. 4-episode first season. It's
Awesome.
being
Nice.
finished being edited this week. So to answer, that was a cheap way to work in my plug for my web series because I have no idea about future Chelsea shows. But I hoped I would do anything she asked.
Are you
That's
doing
cool.
any more stand-up?
Constantly. Just taped my special recently in Santa Barbara at the Low Barrel Theater. We're going to be shopping it around soon. And I'm performing. I just got back today from Rooster T. Feathers up north. I'll be in Scottsdale, Arizona in December at the brand new Rick Bronson's House of Comedy. Plugging away, man.
Cool.
That's awesome.
And women.
Wow.
And women.
And I'll be, sleeping in tomorrow morning for a couple hours.
Nice.
People can see me there in my bedroom.
Lazy Monday.
Live streamed.
You got a camera?
I do have a live stream camera, yeah.
All right.
Truman
Gets-
Show, like the
website.
Truman Show. Throwback to SNL.
Like the Truman Show, but more masturbating. To be honest with you.
So, Conrad, you got a movie coming out in 2016, Sausage Party.
Yep.
Tell us more about that.
And
because-
holy smokes, the cast, the lineup for this is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
And they wrote, Evan and
Who's
Seth
in
wrote
it?
it.
Seth
Yeah.
and Evan wrote it.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, they wrote it.
You got
Nice.
Jonah Hill. and
It was
love it.
Kristen
Wiig.
Wiig.
When you got those two, it was just like, we'll handle the cast.
Gold,
and
yeah.
that was
James Franco.
Let's see,
Wow.
we've got Seth, obviously. We've got Danny McBride,
Yeah.
James Franco, Kristen Wiig. We've got Selma Hayek.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
We've got Bill Hader. We've got Jonah. I don't know if I mentioned him already, but there's and Ed Norton.
Really?
Is it animated or no?
Animated, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's the first CG rated R animated comedy.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's called
Amazing.
Sausage Party. It's about a bunch of sausages that escape their packaging to go fuck buns. Basically. That's it. That's the way it was pitched to me, and that's when I instantly signed on.
And you're like, yes,
Well,
absolutely.
I mean, believe it or not, it's always been a dream of mine since I was 13, and the movie Heavy Metal came out, and I went, boobs and animation, this is fantastic. I've got to do this for a living someday. And after I got done working with Seth on Monsters vs. Aliens, he called me and said, hey, we want to pitch you something. So I went over to his place, and he and Jonah and Evan were there, and they just basically told me that, Sausage Party, and I said, I'm in. You've just made all my childhood dreams come true.
That's
So
awesome.
we pitched it for 3 years.
No
Wow.
kidding.
3 years.
All
3 years.
with those guys all together and you on the project?
It was either we don't do animation or animation saying we don't do R-rated. So there was like this weird in between that we fell into. But then a wonderful studio called Annapurna, Megan Ellison, she read the script and said, "This is fantastic. Tell me how we can do this." And basically gave her a tour of DreamWorks, let her know how we do it, and then we got Sony on board after that, and now it's actually a real movie, and we just started animation.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
Hey,
Thank you.
good sound of it. Thank you, in-studio audience.
So you already recorded all the voices a long time ago, yeah?
No, we're still in recording. We're
Okay.
doing a little bit of rewriting right now. We've got most of them recorded.
Nice.
They came in and in a 4-hour stretch did the whole script for the most part.
Jeez.
And they don't record together either, right?
No, they don't.
Why do they do that
Seth's
in
there.
animation?
Seth and Evan
Okay.
are always
But
there.
are they ever reading their lines together with the other actors when it's...
No. What we
scenes
do
together?
is we read with them.
Right.
And then, you've done this.
Yeah, that's what it always
That's
is
what
for me.
it's
But I just
actor in a
wonder why.
box is
Because
what
I
it's been
did a
called.
cartoon for the web years ago where the three main brothers, we were three brothers in a cartoon called Melvin Brothers, and the three of us would often we'd do one take or two takes all together into one mic, standing right there, because you would get improvised moments you just physically cannot piece together otherwise. I don't get why with comedies they don't also just try to schedule a couple sessions with both of you in the booth.
We do occasionally. It's more about, most of the actors are usually doing this, for their kids.
Right.
They're not getting paid a hell of a lot for this.
Right.
So we try to work around their schedule and try to make it as easy as possible for them. But what's great about this is we've got Seth in every, a recording session. We got Evan over there on the couch as well. And improvisation, because that's the main character, always happens with him. And
so he'll just hop up and improvise something, and then you'll get his end later or whatever?
Yeah, we've got the writers, Kyle Hunter and Ari Shafir there. And
Ari Shafir wrote it?
Yeah, well, he wrote it
kidding.
with Kyle Hunter and Seth and Evan. And
I love
so
Ari.
They're throwing out lines, and it's huge.
Man, that's amazing.
It's a pretty
No
fun
kidding.
process.
Good for Ari. And he's a show on Comedy Central now.
Oh, yeah?
Ari has a show on Comedy Central now called This Is Actually Happening.
I will check that out then.
Yeah, it's like horrible comics road stories.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's
I love
awesome.
that.
So the film's coming out in 2016.
Yeah.
In July, you said, maybe?
July. It's a very
Okay.
big 4th of July type of thing going on in the movie, so we wanted to make sure it was a summer.
And then
Heck
will
yeah.
you be voicing a character on this?
I voice. We also have Nick Kroll in it.
Oh, I
love Nick Kroll.
as well.
Awesome.
Who I
I love
as well.
Nick Kroll.
I am voicing a can of Coke, a roll of toilet paper, and a couple of other.
Can we hear the can of
bits.
Coke?
The can of Coke is just my voice.
Okay. What's the roll of toilet paper?
Smart choice. I think that when I see you.
Yeah.
I think, hey, Coke, this guy's Coca-Cola.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I
It's just
believe.
that's what people think.
Yeah.
And then toilet paper's a little more like this.
like
I'm a roll of toilet paper.
I would be a little nervous, too, if I were approaching that as
Exactly.
my
He
job.
does this a lot.
Sure.
Sure.
So, makes a lot of sense.
How do you come up with the different voices for each character and Gingy? How do you just practice in the mirror or?
Gingy was interesting. A long time ago, a very good friend of mine and I, we both were reminiscing about old babysitting stories when we were in junior high and high school, and we both had babysat small boys who were, strangely effeminate. Who, liked using a lot of lotion, wore open-toed sandals a little too much, stuff like that.
How old were they?
6. 6 or 7 years old, and we were just like, "What is
Bathrobes.
wrong with you?" You know? Yeah, exactly.
Manicures,
like really
pedicures.
nice, clean terry cloth bathrobes and their initials on it.
Yes.
And so we started just, drawing little comics of this character that we came up named Randall Candy, Nancy Boy, and we had made these little comics, and we gave him this voice here, and we just like, sometimes I like to smell my own feet, stuff like that, just weird stuff, and so I decided I would use that voice to pitch this gingerbread man scene from Shrek, the first Shrek, and so when I used that to pitch it, they said, that's an amazing voice, and we have to go out and hire an actor immediately to do that voice, is what they said. And they just couldn't find anyone to do it because the secret is doing a slight Baltimore accent. Yeah. Every once in a while, you got to go down here like this. It's just, there's something you do in the Baltimore accent that makes it uniquely gingy. So
that's awesome.
So
that's
I
really
got
cool.
the job doing that.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Of course. I hope it was entertaining in the least.
Yeah.
Oh, I love getting behind the scenes insight on stuff. That's great, and I
So
love
cool.
that I failed both of your idiot tests.
Yep, you're welcome.
Live. Forever, it will live on the webs of the internet.
That's why you have to
Yeah.
tune into the show to redeem yourself, at least
Exactly.
in your own mind.
I'll go home and practice.
You can go home and tweet. You can go home and tweet that you finally got one right.
Yeah, I will. I'll tweet you when I get one right.
So in the meantime, while we're all waiting for your awesome projects to come out, well, yours is coming very soon in November. Where can people find you or follow you on Twitter or Instagram or anything?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Ben Gleib, BenGleib. I'm on there constantly. An idiot test every Tuesday, 9 and 9:30 on Game Show Network.
I before E, except after
Except after L.
Ghoul.
Exactly.
And Conrad?
If you want to see some of my artwork, I've got a blog that's Conrad1968 at blogspot.com. So you
Awesome.
can go check out my drawings. I'm not on the Twitter or the Instagram right now. So.
Smart.
It's all right, but you're gonna be in a huge movie as a roll of toilet paper and a can of Coke and other things.
That's
You should
right.
put your drawings on Instagram, though. It's a perfect place for drawings.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
It's a good idea.
Well,
And Sausage Party.
And Sausage
Gosh,
Party
I'm excited about
2016.
that. That's amazing.
So fun.
It's really
It's
funny.
amazing.
Really funny.
Well, thanks, guys. You can check me out at Holly Weirder on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Kelly McInerney.
Guys, you can find me at Danny Hoyt, DANNYHOYT on everything.
awesome. And guys, thank you for joining us. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HeyRoya. That's HeyRoya. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
Appreciate
guys very
it.
much.
My
It was
pleasure.
a blast.
You guys are
Yeah.
That was
awesome.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Had a good time.
Can I sleep here? Yeah. Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.